This is the easiest thing to break when opening up an iPod Classic. Of course, I'm talking about the little battery connector at the bottom of the logic board. It's super fragile and can easily be pulled off the board when trying to unclip it. Although luckily it usually is fixable assuming the pads are still intact. To solder the connector back on, we'll first need to disassemble the iPod and pull out the logic board. Then I put some Captain tape over all the sensitive components. I first start by applying some flux and then putting some new leaded solder on as it'll heat up and stick to the legs much easier. Then using my hot air station I can solder that connector back on. You gotta be careful when doing this since the connector's made out of plastic and can melt. It's also a good idea to remove the brown clip when doing this too. I then like to touch up all the connections with my soldering iron to make sure they're all good. Now to reassemble the iPod and see if it works. We'll also be replacing the battery with a 3000 mAh one and the original hard drive with a 128GB SD card. After giving it a test, everything seemed all good. We can now package the iPod up and send it back to the customer.